Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Geraldine and my videos are about productivity and goal setting. So if that's the type of content you love to consume, then go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Also click the notification bell so you do know when I do upload, and follow me on all my social media. I'm at Geraldine Silva. This little piece of hair is getting on my last nerve. So I did want to tell you guys that if you are new here, I have created a Facebook group for those of us who want to get more into about goal setting and being accountable for our goals, and kind of create a little hangout spot for all of us to support and help each other with our goals and really uplifting each other, because it's a very lonely place when you are just like laser focused on your goals. All you're doing is just focusing on that and kind of just giving up on like the fun stuff around us, just to be able to create the things that we want, create the dream that we want. And so it's very hard for the people around us to really understand about the sacrifices that we're making. But when you're in a community and the people in there are going through the same things that you're going through, it's a lot more easier to express and vent for yourself and have support, and know that other people understand the same situation that you're going through. So I wanted to create that space for us. It's called the Committed Collective. It's over on Facebook group. It's free for anybody to join. So if you wanted to go join over there, I will be I'll be hanging out over there a lot of the times, because it's kind of hard to get back to the comments in the comment section. So I really wanted to just like put us in a group together, so when we ever feel like need support or help, you know, there's a place to go. And then also you'll not only get support from me, but you'll also get motivational talks and productivity tips from me. So you'll be getting more than just what you get here on YouTube. So if you really want a place to be, that is the place to go. The Committed Collective will be in the description below, so you can go ahead and join it and submit a request to be in the membership. It's free. Don't worry, you don't have to pay anything, but it's free. Before we begin this video, I did create a workbook guide for this video because I'm a visual learner and I love a guide that really breaks it down step by step, and I can visually see my goals and what I'm working towards and my plan. It feels so relieving when you're able to write everything down and you get all your thoughts out onto paper, and there's a visual plan of what you're going to do and how you're going to tackle things. So alongside this video, I knew I was going to be giving a lot of information and a lot of value, but I'm a visual learner, so I wanted to create something that's going to be you can use alongside this video. This video is free. Anybody can watch it and, you know, listen to it and kind of just like piece things together and figure it out for themselves. But those of you who really want more help and more guide, then I created this for you guys. It's only $5. It's about 9 pages of just information, step-by-step guide. So you'll be getting this. My printer didn't print it out very well, but you'll be getting this cover sheet, kind of like an all about me page, and like what you can expect from this workbook. And then this is one of the pages that I did print out. It's just to give you guys an idea of how it's going to look. Out how to find your system, and everything we're going to be talking about today is on this page, but there's so much more on there that's really going to help you just kind of visually piece everything together. And so for any of you guys who are interested in purchasing this workbook, it's again about 9 to 10 pages, and it's $5. So I didn't want to make anything too expensive, so yeah, I wanted to make something affordable for everybody to just be able to really achieve their dreams. So yeah, it'll be in the link it's going to be in the description down below. Again, it's only $5 for anybody who just wants a little bit more help. So what is a system, right? What is a system when it comes to creating your goals? Because it's not just having a goal and then just figuring it out as you go. It's creating a system that's going to allow you to see progress and generate results. Because it's not just having a dream, it's having a plan with that dream. How are you going to achieve it? How are you going to have that plan? How are you going to achieve that goal? It's such a hard concept to answer. If anybody ever asked me like 10 years ago, hey Geraldine, what do you want for your life? I would be like, oh, I want to be a full-time content creator. Okay, great. How are you going to do it? I don't know, probably upload every single day. There's not really a concrete plan. There's no There's no milestones where if you're doing the action every single day, are you actually seeing progress? Are you actually doing the thing that's allowing you to get to the dream that you really want? Like what, how do you know that you're gonna get to where you want to be? How do you know you are where you want to be, right? So this is what I mean by having systems and routines in place. So it's creating a detailed plan. It's creating a detailed action plan that you're going to consistently do every single week. That is a system. What are you going to do every single week? What are you going to do every single day? Create that system, that routine. A system is a routine. What are you going to include in your everyday work that's going to move the needle closer to the goal that you want? So you start off with your goal, right? That's number one. If you're working on your workbook, you start off with your goal. So the example that I gave is that you're going to write your first book by the end of the year. That's your goal. That's what you're envisioning for the year. So how do you find a system, right? How do you understand what is a system, but how do you find that? How do you create that? How do you know what system to have in place? Well, that's a really great question. So what I always say, and this is what I did for myself, is I found somebody's story on how they achieved their goal. And I basically just steal their plan and change it to fit whatever lifestyle I'm in. To give you more context, and I say this almost in every single video, but I really, really want to become a full-time content creator. And one thing to get there is to be monetized. And I really, really want to be monetized. So I need 500 subscribers. So if you want to help me out, go ahead and subscribe. But I need 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours. I was researching on how to get monetized the fastest way possible, and I saw a girl who went live every single day for 30 days, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And by the end of it, by the end of the 30 days, she ended up getting monetized. And I'm like, oh my god, this is what I need to do. If I really want to become monetized, if I really want to become a full-time content creator, this is what I need to do. And this is the action, this is the plan, this is the hard work that I need to put in, the standard of how I'm going to achieve this. If I really, really want it, I'm going to do exactly just that. So I stole her plan, but I changed it to my lifestyle because I could not for the life of me be able to commit to 30-day lives. Going live every single day, I could not commit to that. But what I could commit to is uploading for 30 days. That is something I was able to commit. And I ended up doing it. In the month of May, I uploaded for 30 days. So if you go back on my channel, you're going to see that I uploaded every single day. At this point, I need to create a playlist. But I uploaded every single day in the month of May. And that really helped me get a chunk of subscribers and a good amount of watch hours. So I see the amount of work that I need to put in times 1,000 to be able to have the dream. So this is what I mean by research the market. What goal do you have? If your goal is to create a book, right? To write your first novel, to have a book, you start off with what is it that you need. You need to write the book first before you could sell it and become a number one bestseller. Those are steps afterwards. But the number one thing is that you need to have a book in order to have the rest of the stuff. So write your first novel. How did somebody else write that novel? How did somebody else do it in a year that they were able to accomplish that book? What work did they put in that accomplished that? And what work do you need to put in order to accomplish that? So you steal someone else's plan. If someone said, hey, I stayed up every single night for at least an hour and I wrote a chapter and I did that consistently for 6 months and I ended up writing my first book. If that's the type of work that you need to put in, then that's the plan that you need to have. Of course, you can change it. Let's say you can't stay up for an hour after work. Let's say you can't stay up an hour after bedtime. Let's say you can wake up an hour earlier, or you have an hour break for work and maybe you can write your book during that hour break that you have for work. Change it to fit your lifestyle. But the thing is that understand that it is a sacrifice. I had to sacrifice a lot of time in order to be able to consistently upload for 30 days. But again, if you really, really want something, you're not going to care about the fact that you sacrificed it because there's a benefit afterwards. You're going to have your first book. That's the benefit. For me, I got a lot of subscribers. I don't even think about the time that I did end up having to because I was so tired, I didn't feel like filming, but I did anyways. Like, I don't even think about that time anymore. That time has passed. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, look at all the hard work that I did. I ended up with this many subscribers. So in the moment, we think about the sacrifice and how tired we are, but at the end of it, once you kind of like get that momentum and you kind of see the fruits of your labor, you're gonna be like, oh my god, all of that was so worth it. Me waking up an hour earlier was so worth it. Me staying up late an hour was so worth it. Me sacrificing my lunch for an hour to write this book was so worth it. You're gonna see all of that worth it, and you're not really gonna think about those times. You're just gonna think of it as like, that's part of my story. And then you'll be able to go off and tell your story and be like, hey, and someone might tell you, hey, how did you end up writing your book? And you're gonna be able to tell them, this is my plan, and this is my system, and this was my routine, this is how I did it. If you really want it, this is the standard of how you're going to achieve it. If you don't think it's worth it, then you don't want it badly enough. And unfortunately, it comes down to that. If you don't want to put in that much work, unfortunately, you're not going to get to where you want to be, because it's a huge sacrifice. So how do you create a system, right? So you figured out how to find a system, right? You know what a system is. How do you find a system? How do you create a system? So again, if you are working alongside the workbook, create a system by finding the one actionable step you will be able to commit to even on your laziest day. So like I said, I wasn't able to do a live every single day, but my laziest self would be able to film every single day, because I always talk about, this is your ambitious self and this is your laziest self. When you feel the most ambitious and the most motivated, you're going to think of a million things on how you're going to achieve your goal, on how you're going to lose weight, on how you're going to write your book, on how you're going to have so many followers on Instagram, right? Where it's like, I'm going to post two times on Instagram every single day, or I'm going to upload 30 videos in 20 days, or whatever the case, right? You create this ambitious plan, and then 2-3 days later, your laziest self pops up and you're like, I kind of don't want to do that. That seems really, really hard. So when you are in your most ambitious self, when you feel the most motivated, the most determined, you can't think of the plan then. You have to think down here where your laziest self is at. So you have to say, okay, I would like to be here where I'm going to the gym every single day and I'm having the body of my dreams and I am the healthiest, but I'm not at the most ambitious self. I'm not there yet. What I am is down here. So what can my laziest self do that I can build her up or build him up to become the most ambitious self? So maybe your laziest self can only commit to going to the gym 2 times a week. And so that's where you start off. You start off by going 2 times a week. And then once you see that you're able to do that consistently, where you're going to start to feel more aligned to the goal of, I'm a healthy person, right? Then you're going to start saying, oh, maybe I should start going 3 times a week. Maybe I should start going 4 times a week. Maybe I should start eating more salads, more vegetables. I want to try this new vegetable, this new fruit. I want to implement more supplements. Like, you start aligning yourself to the lifestyle that you're creating for yourself. But you can't be there at your most ambitious self because your laziest self is not aligned to that yet. So you have to kind of just bring yourself up, bring your laziest self up to until you reached where you want to be. So my laziest self was, I can't go live every single day. I just won't be able to do it, but I'm able to upload every single day. And so now that I've uploaded every single day for 30 days. Before, I only uploaded, before my 30 days, I was uploading 2 times a week. And then I did my 30-day challenge, right? And now I'm like, oh shoot, like I committed to the 30 days. That means I'm able to commit to uploading every other day and probably do that for a really, really long time. And now I created this workbook, and I'm like, I'm gonna implement this workbook and create more value to my audience. And I'm like, oh, I can also create this Facebook group and run that in the background. Like, I'm starting to be more aligned as a full-time content creator, and that's where you're gonna end up as well, because you see how committed you were at your laziest self, And so you start to become more ambitious and then start aligning yourself to the lifestyle you want to live. You see, you just gotta think smaller, because that's where you're at right now. Not saying that, like, you know, you just gotta meet yourself at the level of what can your laziest self do. Because if you want to procrastinate so badly, you're gonna procrastinate because the plan that you created wasn't gonna work anyways. Think at your laziest self. Another thing too, when it comes to being your laziest self, is you have to also think about what is the obstacle that's going to come up multiple times and get in the way of me achieving my goals, right? I always think about what is the thing that's unstable right now in my life that could possibly play into the fact that I might not be able to get to where I want to be. So one thing for sure is my marketing skills. So me being able to market myself, me being able to have the skill of selling may come into play, because if I want to become a full-time content creator, I need to create a business around this. And so I'm not skilled at marketing, so that could be something that's in the way of me becoming a full-time content creator and of creating a business. So I'm like, okay, I need to figure out a plan on how I can go over that hurdle, so when it does come to the point of, oh, I need to learn how to market myself, or I need to market the products that I'm making, that I'm able to kind of jump over it and it won't set me back, but I'd be able to climb the mountain even if it's at a slow pace. So think of the obstacle that's coming in your way. What are the things that are unstable right now in your life? What are the things that are you lacking that you could probably research some more and learn about and figure it out on yourself, and really dive into that world of, if I lack something, how do I obtain it? And so I love creating a foolproof plan of obstacles, because things come up. It's not going to be a perfect circle of starting your goal, you create a system, you have your milestones, and then you achieve it. No, it's a constant cycle of obstacles are always going to come in the way. You have your goal, you have your system, you have your check-ins, and then there's an obstacle. You get over that obstacle and then you're back on the cycle, and then you keep going and going and going and going until you essentially reach to the point where you're at. But obstacles are always going to come up, and so having a plan for that obstacle, I urge you guys enough. Completed the section of the system, right? This is the system that you're going to use every single day, every single week, and every single month. This is how you create a system for yourself and for your goals. You start off with your goal, you create your action plan, you steal it from somebody else, and you twist it to your lifestyle, and then you create an action plan also for your obstacle and how you're going to get over that hurdle and how you're going to be able to achieve that goal without having a complete setback. The next section is milestones. And what is a milestone? A milestone is a check-in point with yourself, because when you're going consistently on your action plan, you have to have a checkpoint where you're like, okay, you meet with yourself every single week and you say to yourself, I want to have my first book written by the end of the year. What things are you going to do every single day to get closer to that, right? Where, let's say it's, again, you're going to wake up every single day at 5 a.m. and you're going to write 1 page. Okay, cool. So you're writing every single day, but you have to have checkpoints where you're like, okay, am I on track with writing my book? Am I actually going to be able to achieve it? Or do I need to increase how many pages I need to write at the end of the night? Or maybe I'm going to achieve my goal faster than what I thought. Me writing a page, I'm going to end up writing my book by 3 months. Like, you have to have checkpoints with yourself, because you need to know how far you are from your goal, or how close you are from your goal, and if you're making enough progress that is going to reach you to the goal that you want, which is having a book, right? Milestones are those checkpoints. You have a checkpoint with yourself every single week, and you have your checkpoint with yourself every single month. There's also quarterly checkpoints where it's like every 3 months that you meet with yourself and you're like, okay, did I achieve the amount that I needed, the amount that I wanted for this quarter, or for this month, or for this week? Did I write enough to achieve what I wanted, right? What do these checkpoints look like? You are consistently keeping track of if you are working on your goal. So let's say in a week, right, 7 days, your action plan, your actionable step is that I'm going to wake up every single day at 5 a.m. and I'm going to write 1 page. So how many times in the week did you actually wake up at 5 a.m. and write your book? Let's say you did it, I don't know, 5 days out of the week, you actually wrote your pages, right? So you check in with yourself. What happened in the other 2 days that didn't allow you to write the other 2 pages that you needed for the 2 days that you missed? And so if there's an obstacle in the way of, well, during the weekends I really want to sleep in, so then what can you do? Oh yeah, you can stay up late. So then you tweak your plan a little bit and say during the week I'll wake up at 5 a.m. every single day and write 1 page of my book. During the weekend I'm going to stay up 1 hour late to write my 1 page that I need. And so you check in with yourself the next week, like, okay, did I accomplish this? Yes. Okay, cool. Then we'll keep going, and you keep going, and you keep going. And then that's every single week, right? You're keeping track of what you want every single week, what the progress is for every single week. And you're seeing, like, is there an obstacle in the way that's not allowing you to achieve that goal? And what can you twist? What can you tweak in your plan, in your system, in your routine that's going to allow you to consistently make that actionable step every single day? So then when you look at the end of the month, you see how much progress you made. So if you're writing a page every single day, at the end of the month, you should have 30 pages. So when you check in with yourself and you check to see maybe you only wrote 25 pages, then you look at your month and you say, what happened here? Why couldn't I complete the 30 days? And then again, you tweak your plan a little bit more so that by the next month, you're able to have the 30 pages that you wanted by the end of the month. And then by the end of the 3 months, right, if you're doing a quarterly check-in too, then you see, okay, I've written half of my book. So that means that leaves me 3 more months with me to write my other half of my book if I consistently do this every single day. And I will hit my goal of having my book written by the end of the year, right? If we were to start today, June, and then by December, you will have your first book written because at the 3-month mark, you saw that you wrote half of your book and everything that you were doing was getting you on track to achieving your goal of having your first book. And that is what you do for your check-ins. You do that with every single goal. So same thing with like losing weight. Every single week you're checking your weight, you're seeing your progress. Are you actually losing the weight that you want? Because if your goal is to, let's say, lose 20 pounds by the end of the year, you have to consistently lose a certain amount of weight every single week to get to those 20 pounds by the end of the end of the year. So you make a weekly check-in where it's like, okay, how many pounds did I lose this week? Oh, I lost 2. Great, I'm on track. And you do that every single week. If one week you lost 1 pound, you look at your week and you're like, okay, what did I do wrong that I didn't lose another pound? It's, oh yeah, I forgot. I went to Golden Corral and had McDonald's for breakfast and blah blah blah. Like I was too indulgent in one day, so I ended up gaining that 1 pound back. So you're like, okay, for next week, instead of having an indulgent day, I'm gonna have a cheat meal, just one meal where I'm allowing myself to have a hamburger or something. And you check in the next week and you're like, okay, that worked. Having one cheat meal instead of a cheat day is helping me get to the weight that I want to be. So then you do that every single week, and then by the end of the month, you see how much weight you've actually lost for the entire month, and you're like, okay, if I lose 5 pounds for the next 6 months, I'm gonna end up with 20 pounds that I need. I know it's like 30 or something, but let's pretend, right? The 5 pounds, I'm gonna end up having the 20 pounds that I want by the end of the week. So you look at your entire month, you lost 5 pounds. You're like, okay, great. The plan that I have, the system that I have is keeping me on track with keeping me on track to having my goal at the end of the year of losing 20 pounds. So I'm going to consistently keep going. So those are the milestones, is keeping you accountable. It's so important to have your system and to have your milestone in place so that you can consistently show up for yourself and you can make progress and you can generate results, because this is what the thing that we're lacking. We just go, and then we've lost all that time, and then our plan that we've created for ourselves ends up being nothing because you didn't check in with yourself and see if your plan that you're implementing is actually working, and you end up with all this wasted time. So create checkpoints with yourself, right? You make a checkpoint for every day, right? What does progress look like every day? let's say it's, again, writing a page a day. If we go back to the example of I want to write a book, you write a page every single day. Okay, great. That's what progress looks like every single day. What does progress look like every single week? I write my 7 pages. Okay, great. What does progress look like at the end of the month? I've written 30 pages. Okay, great. So you create checkpoints for every single day, for every single week, and for every single month, where you're consistently making progress, because that's what we want. We want momentum and we want progress. Because if we're not generating those things, what are you doing? You're just wasting your time. So every single week, how many pages you wrote? Okay, great. How many, and at the end of the month, how many pages you wrote? Okay, great. If you do the math, are you on track to accomplishing your book for the year? Cool. And so that is what you do, my friends. That is how you create systems, and that is how you create milestones. The last thing that I want to leave with you guys is, again, this concept of how to piece all of this together. So how do you piece together the system and the milestone? So kind of how I explained at the beginning, you start off with your goal, and then you have your check-in, right? You have your goal. You start off with your goal. You have your action plan. Then you have your checkpoint, and then an obstacle comes in the way, but you've already created a plan for your obstacle. You overcome that obstacle, and then you're like, okay, back to my goal, right? The goal is to write your book. So you have your obstacle, and then you go back to your goal. Okay, I went over this hurdle. I'm back on track to accomplishing that goal. And it's a cycle that just keeps happening over and over again, no matter where you're at, whether you're in the beginning or towards the end of your goal. It's a cycle that always happens. Something always comes up. It's not like a consistent obstacle that pops up. Sometimes you're just going, and then something happens, and then that's where you kind of fall into that whole obstacle cycle thing. But that is kind of how you piece everything together, and you just keep going and going until you just see the snowball effect and you've accomplished your goals at the end of the year. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Also click the notification bell so you do know when I do upload, and follow me on all my social media. I'm at Jolly Silva, and please go ahead and get your workbook so that you can really dive more deep into achieving your goals and finding a system for yourself. And really, this guide is a very helpful system. It's a very helpful workbook that will give you a very nice visual on how to really create that goal, and gives you that step-by-step guidance. So, and also please join my Facebook group, The Committed Collective. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.